Hi guys, how are you? It's Katie. I'm a little late. I needed some coffee this morning or this afternoon. Oh my gosh, it's 1 o'clock. Holy crap. I haven't been sleeping very much lately. I've been having a lot of stuff going on, lots of anxiety, and I was like, I could use a cup of coffee. My third. I usually only drink 2 cups of coffee in a day, but today this is cup number 3. So let's talk. We haven't checked in with Jenelle. I mean, we've talked a little bit about some of the stuff related to their court cases and stuff related to her court hearing because she has filed a temporary restraining order against David Eason. And that was continued until after the holidays in January. In the meantime, she is currently living in Tennessee and has started a new life away from her soon-to-be ex-husband. Now, it's not known what state she will actually file for divorce. She is currently residing in Nashville, and David remains on their property in North Carolina. But given the fact that she recently left a relationship that was littered with DV, in fact, in her temporary restraining order, she told the court of at least 11 incidents between her and her ex-husband. Now, during the relationship, we know that there was a lot of probably trauma, lots of things going on that might have affected both her and her children. But we also know that if you watch Teen Mom 2, if you have for years, you know that her history with men has always been a little bit, well, let's just say she hasn't picked the best kind of guys. She has picked men that she has been the type of woman to go from one relationship to the next. She has battled issues with addiction. She has had issues with her mental health. She has dealt with relationships that have had their own issues with DV. She has had multiple boyfriends where DV has played a factor. And given all of that, it's not surprising that she's probably sorting through maybe a lot of years of pain. Given all of that, she's probably in a pretty fragile state. However, it was nice to see a really happy Jenelle post this on Instagram, on Twitter. She said, "I just want to tell everyone I'm so happy with my life right now. Everything is perfect. My support system is so big right now. It's crazy." And then she shared the same thing on Facebook. And then she was sharing some memes. So, find a man who ruined your lipstick, darling, not your mascara. My old mindset was ours. My new mindset is my SHIT, my SHIT, my SHIT. And she shared this: to heal from trauma, you have to feel your feelings. And I actually thought that this was interesting because I know that leaving a situation like this can be extremely challenging. She's a mother. She's got 3 children, 2 of whom she has full custody of. And she has got to continue to move forward, but also manage and deal with her trauma. So I actually clicked on that link, and it takes you to an article from Psychology Today called "To Heal from Trauma, You Have to Feel Your Feelings." And in the article, it says your tether points originated from emotional injuries or trauma in childhood, experiences that were hurtful, damaging to your sense of self. The same extent or experience will affect people differently. Schoolyard teasing that stays with one person for decades may be brushed off easily by someone else. It then goes on to say genetics, previous events, mindset, and beliefs can all affect which childhood events stay with you and hold you back, and which you shrug off. The social support you received in the wake of the trauma's duration, and the type of injury it has can affect the tether creation process. It says trauma generates emotions, and unless you process these emotions at the time they occur, they can be stuck in your system, negatively affecting both psychologically and physically. It suggests that in order to free yourself from that, you have to free yourself from what is limiting you and unconsciously driving your actions. You need to observe yourself non-judgmentally. You need to bring your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs into conscious awareness. In doing so, you shift from using the fight, flight, or freeze part of your brain to the less reactive and more analytical one, which can explore, discover, and create. And then it goes over a self-affirmation or self-observation acronym by a doctor named Dr. Dan Siegel, which is curiosity, openness, acceptance, and love. So just telling you to feel your feelings. I've included the full link in the description if you'd like to read more. And then she wrote this one. I like this one. I've been having this feeling a lot lately. Is like when you know someone's lying, but you can't say anything because of the way you found out. I know that feeling. And me laughing at my own jokes before I even tell it. That is so me. Yay, Jenelle, for sharing things that I can feel on a daily basis. Anyways, so given what she's gone through in the last few years with her husband, ex-husband, David, I started to think about what her childhood was like and what she might be talking about in relation to tethering. And I was thinking about how Barbara has mentioned, her mother, that she and her father, who she divorced when Jenelle was like still in her early adolescence, that Jenelle's father and her were involved in a DV relationship. And if you know the cycles and the wheel of abuse, you know that it has a history of repeating itself if you don't take care of yourself and deal with the trauma. So if she grew up in a situation where the woman was being hurt by the man, it's not unrealistic to consider that she would seek out men that were modeled to her or that would model what she saw as a child. So perhaps she's now at a phase where she's starting to really think about that and consider what she can do moving forward to break that cycle. So I was looking into what are the stages of recovery for someone that is leaving a situation like DV. And I found it on Domestic Shelters, which is an organization provides education and resources for people leaving relationships that have DV as a part of it. And it says there's three stages there's typically 3 stages that can be looked at when you're dealing with recovery. And they say there's the safety and stabilization. So trauma survivors tend to feel unsafe in their bodies and in the relationships with others. They may struggle with regulating their everyday emotions, which they may not associate directly with their trauma. It may also take months or even years to regain a sense of safety. The second phase can be remembrance and mourning, and this is when the survivor may begin to process the trauma, assigning words and emotions to it to help make meaning of it. And that process is undertaken with a counselor. And then phase 3 is reconnection and integration, and that's when they recognize the impact of the victimization they experienced, but begin to believe that what happened no longer is a defining principle of their lives. They begin to redefine themselves in a context of a meaningful relationship, create a new sense of self, create a new future, and in some instances, they may find a mission through that they can heal and grow. It also says that it's not uncommon to blame yourself at one point or another, and that also the process of healing can take quite some time. And I'm hoping that she's working with a trained psychologist or someone that can help her through this time. I know everyone has been on this bandwagon of she's just going to get another man. She's just Jenelle. She's just going to keep making the same mistakes. And I don't know. I feel like this could be really different for her. And this is just my opinion. But Jenelle is now in her late 20s, 27 or 28. And I feel like a lot of women, when they enter into their later 20s, those of us who have had bad experiences in our childhood or been through bad relationships, a lot of us at that point in time kind of begin to grow up and realize, I can't keep doing what I was doing. I know when I was that age, that's when I really got a hold of my stuff and was like, I can't keep making these same mistakes. And I'm wondering if now, 27, 28 years old, she's at a point where she's like, I have to stop this. I have 2 children that I have custody of, and Jace. She's got Kaiser, who's 5 years old, Ensley, who's 2, almost 3, and they need a mama that's healthy and happy, and a mama that is able to take care of herself and provide a stable environment and model healthy boundaries and relationships. So I think instead of like dogging her and assuming that she's going to repeat herself or repeat the same patterns, we try to remember that everybody is capable of change. Everyone is capable of growth. And sometimes going through situations like this can make most of us make very profound changes in our life. So maybe this will be what it takes for her to actually do the work. And that's really all you can hope for. But recovery takes time. And even though she's feeling better and has a good support system now, what I've learned in my own recovery from my own traumas is that it ebbs and flows. And it's kind of like a roller coaster. One day you feel great. The next day you feel crappy. One day you feel like you've conquered it, and the next day you're back in it. And the only way to get through it is just to keep working through it, talking through it, finding new coping skills, understanding boundaries. That was the big thing for me, was understanding boundaries. So hopefully she will learn all of these things as she continues to work through and heal. We at Without a Crystal Ball, me, wish her the best and continued success in that. And I hope that if you interact with her on social media, that you're kind to her, that you don't give her pushback, and that you don't engage with trolls that literally exist on Twitter to just mock her and make her life terrible. And if you're in the comments and you literally hate her, you know, instead of saying that you hate someone, try to remember that this is a woman who is real. I think sometimes we forget that the people we watch are humans. They have human feelings. You know, they're going through things. And sometimes the words you can choose to write on your account, on your little keyboard, do have an impact on those that are reading it. All right, you guys, I'll be back later with more, but tell me your thoughts. Do you think that this is a good sign that she's taking the steps she needs to take? Are you hopeful for her future? Do you want to see her back on Teen Mom 2? I still don't think that's going to happen. Anyway, make sure if you haven't, before you leave, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel. And if you want to join my channel, click the join button and you can get all kinds of perks. Now, I'll be back later, and on Instagram, I'm on Instagram at Without a Crystal Ball. I'm on Facebook at facebook.com/withoutacrystalball. And I'm on Twitter at WOACB official. All right, you guys, I'll be back in a little while. Bye.